Oh my goodness. I think this is the third time I'm trying to do this video. I have a long way to go to being a good YouTuber. But anyway, I'm going to be reacting to my cousin's video. She has a YouTube channel called Them Parts. Her name's Nicole. And the topic is, why are modern relationships so toxic? Of course, it's because our society is toxic, but her and her co-host, No Face, are going to be going in on this subject. I actually did a video with them a couple days ago. I was actually reacting to another conversation they had. Something about like Valentine's, and is it like about love or big business? And I was disagreeing with a lot of No Face's points. I'll probably be doing that again. And so my camera doesn't turn around when I'm recording. So I'll just turn it every now and again so we can kind of look and see. So here we go. Hopefully you can hear what they're saying.
A great show planned for you guys tonight. I'm Nicole with Them Parts, and my co-host is
No face, no case. Sorry about my tardiness, man.
no problem, no face. But I'm just ready to get into it. We had a great show
Yeah.
tonight. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was pretty good. So we had some interactions and some ladies that came and joined us, and we appreciated them with their opinions, and I'm ready to keep it going.
Yeah,
I was one of those ladies they're talking about.
yeah. And you wasn't scared either. You said I ain't scared of y'all.
I was kidding you.
Just because you ain't scared don't mean you
No,
ain't
I
wrong.
enjoyed it. I'm here for all the smoke.
You here for the
That's
smoke.
what you
Okay,
look
well,
like.
so let's get into it because basically our last few episodes been about relationships, and when it comes down to it, a lot of relationships nowadays are very toxic, very toxic. Okay,
Right.
um, specifically, a lot of the shit you described that you telling these men to do is toxic.
I agree.
Well, I disagree with that, but we'll get
Toxic.
into it. We'll
Very.
get into it.
Did agree that it wouldn't help them get the PUSSY. They did say that.
Well, we gotta take a couple steps backwards before we can go forward. You know, that's the philosophy. We gotta
Okay.
sacrifice.
That's his philosophy.
Okay. Well,
That's
so
funny.
let's get into it. What do you think is causing modern relationships to be so toxic? What are your thoughts
Well,
People too damn evil.
to be so toxic. I don't know. I have to, because I don't want to just go off to a place where you're maybe not trying to, where you're not thinking right now. So can you give me a little bit of an example of what type of toxicity you're referring to as it pertains to modern day relationships?
about? I cannot. But I
Ah!
will answer your question.
Okay.
Do you think modern relationships today are more toxic than relationships of the past?
Of course they are.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. In what ways? What are you seeing now that's going on that shouldn't be going on in a relationship?
Well, it's pretty clear. When you have a relationship that doesn't have a undisputed leader,
Mm.
there's going to be some clashing, you know. So if you got two chiefs and no Indians, there's gonna be an imbalance there.
Oh,
You know
oh,
what I mean? So I didn't want to start off too hot, getting on the thing, but that's what it is. I mean,
mm.
that's where the toxicity comes in when there's an internal back.
Pause. Now see, that whole leader thing, which I believe that men should be the leaders. But I also believe that women should have husbands. And I really don't think like if you're not her husband, um, then she doesn't necessarily have to follow your lead, especially if you're leading her to hell.
Battle for power.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I can see that. That would be a problem because you're butting heads, right?
Right. Now you should not be a thing. Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't a thing, but there was a lot less tension and a lot less toxicity as a result. Before, when they knew when there was a hierarchy, so to speak. Um,
Hmm. You mean when the man ran the house?
right. When the man was the undisputed leader of the household, and the woman played her role, as opposed to now where there's um there's that blurred line of we're both, well, whatever it is, you know. You can tell me better than I know. What are they telling? What is the dynamic of a relationship supposed to be ideally in the modern day narrative?
See, nowadays, this is my opinion. People want to play house, right? You want to play like the wife, you want to play like the husband, but you're really not husband and wife. If you guys are just boyfriend and girlfriend, to me, I mean, there is no hierarchy. Until you're married, I don't even really think that it's actually valid. I don't know, it's my opinion.
In the modern day narrative,
Yeah.
I mean, in the modern day narrative, we're talking about that, and uh, some people say it's 50-50, some people say it's 100 and 0. I don't know.
100-0 for the woman.
I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff. There are some women who say they want men that do everything. And then there's, which is toxic. And then there's some men who who would do everything financially, but not, and think that makes them a good man, but everything that,
Just leave
they're
her
not
high
taking
and
care
dry.
of what the woman needs to feel safe, protected in the relationship as well.
Well, if he's doing that, what else does he need to do?
If he's paying for everything, what else does he need to do?
If he's doing the provision and the protection, then what does he need to do?
No, I'm saying being protected in the relationship. Maybe he's not protected. Protecting is protecting in the relationship is also knowing that that he's going to be there, that you can depend on him, and
Right.
that's not just the financial. Nowadays, everybody seems to be breaking it down to just some.
Nowadays, people don't want to treat each other right. People want to be able to treat each other like trash and being a relationship. And this is one of the things that me and No Face were kind of having a little thing about. You know, if you don't even want to treat the person right, right? Like if you're acting like you're not even really interested in the person, it's some sort of like weird competition of who has the most power. Like, what is the point of that? Like, I don't even see like the point or pleasure in being in a relationship like that. Like, to me, that seems like abusive.
Money.
Yeah, that's what it was about before. It was way more simpler before. All you had to do was,
Money.
yeah, when he just made he protected, of course, but that's just intrinsic. Like, he didn't have to think about protection because that was already automatically instilled in his DNA. Then he worked 60 hours a week, and then he came home and he had nothing else to worry about. Now it's all this extra shit. Well, it's just not quite enough. It's all this.
This is one of the points we were having an issue with also. You know, he's saying that there's certain things instilled in a man's DNA, but for whatever reason, he thinks that women don't have biological things within themselves too, their DNA too. There are things in women that are naturally there, just like there are things in men that are naturally there. And so that's another point of contention we have.
Metaphysical shit that you can't see, taste, feel, or hear that we need also. And I don't know if you're protecting my spirit and all this shit that's confusing. All these feelings. And
Men got more feelings than ever. More
Sure
feelings
do.
than women now. They're the ones.
that's not true. That's not true.
It's true.
Spirit protect. They're the ones who look for flowers on Valentine's Day. They're the ones. job done. They don't even get
Right.
the job done. They literally.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we're getting it. Oh, but no, I would say this though. Men always had feelings, but now men have been tricked into thinking that their feelings actually fucking matter. You know?
Tricked by who? Tricked by who? You saying tricked by women? Or tricked by other men? I don't know. Oh God, I'm busting my damn.
So they're showing them a lot more, and then they're showing them way too much. I say like, you're showing your vagina, bro. Put that shit away.
And what's happening when they do that?
You know what's happening.
No.
Well, he's losing his attractiveness, basically. That's what it comes down to. A woman's not attracted to that, and when she's not attracted to that, she's not. It's not good. It doesn't get you in.
It's feeling, you know.
Now, I don't know because there are different types of women. Some women do like that, right? Especially nowadays, right? The whole feminist movement, right? The toxic masculinity. Some women like for men to damn near like be like them, right? To be like emotional and, almost like feminine. So I don't know. I mean, I think on a larger scale, naturally women gravitate more toward masculine women, but I mean not masculine men. But yeah, I almost want to say like the nature of men and women have actually changed, right? Because there are a lot of women who are very like I want to use the word masculine. I don't know what the word is. They just like want to be like equal with men for some reason, like certain types of men. So I don't know.
Some men nowadays their emotions are extremely tight, and it we're not used to that. And women can push buttons, and we will. If we know we can push your buttons, we will push.
Oh yeah, if you see a sensitive male, then yeah, that he's showing that he has a weakness, and then he's showing you that you have power over him, that you can be able to spike and move his emotions. And if you give that woman that type of power, she will abuse it.
Have you given a woman that type of power?
We have.
Probably, yeah, I'm sure. When I was younger. More than one?
I said not anymore.
Not anymore? Well, no, not anymore. Not lately, that's for sure. But it's not about just being perfect and never. Sometimes you're going to show emotions, and you're going to be vulnerable at times. I haven't put myself in a situation. I haven't been courting anybody for a relationship in quite some time. So
That's good.
So no, I would say not anymore recently. But if I was to find a person that's a good fit for me, I would have to be able to be vulnerable and see if she is going to abuse it or not before we can have the next level of trust in our relationship. But that's not something. That's a different story, kind of. So I said all that. So I didn't advocate just being like that all the time, but it's a good. In my opinion, it's good to just. What am I trying to say? Shit.
Are you saying good to be vulnerable or good to not be?
It's good to not be vulnerable as on the base level, especially with a woman, just a regular, random woman.
I mean, yeah, if you're just talking about a random person, but what if you're talking about?
Even if you've been dating her for a year, okay? For most women, yes. Unless you want to, yeah.
A year is a long time, so you're not.
He just a tickling coal.
You're withholding your emotions with and for this person for a whole year or longer. That's what you guys get?
No, yeah, but forever. But you said that they're always going to abuse it, and I'm saying like not necessarily. I mean, but yeah, but if the woman really cares about you, she won't abuse it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying too much is what I'm saying. But,
Not
but, but
enough.
yeah, she will abuse it, but you can't be in a healthy relationship with a woman if you constantly have to suppress your emotions because eventually you're going to need her, and if she can't be there for you in those really important or desperate times of need, then you need to find somebody that will because she is capable, and you're not going to lose her in those moments as long as you don't have them too often. But you got to save those moments for very important times because if you're always sad, you're gonna lose her. You're gonna lose her attraction, and then you're gonna lose her eventually.
That's good. I'm glad you explained that further because I was starting to think from what you said earlier and from what you said in a couple of our other videos that you just withhold your emotions and that you're not willing to really feel for the woman that you're with or even let
So
her
it sounds to
understand that
me.
you have feelings. And, I just don't think you should be trying to protect it.
Yeah, it's not about protecting yourself. It's protecting your image in her eyes. Kind of like where a lot of people are. You saying that men are overly emotional. It's because they're not suppressed.
Bluetooth mode.
It's almost like nowadays, like you literally like you can't even like be yourself with anybody. Like even in your own relationship, like you're like literally pretending to be somebody else, you know. And I don't know, I think that that's like really strange, you know. Um but I'm sure especially now, that it takes a long time to really be able to trust somebody, because people are very manipulative, you know. People are like, and I say this all the time. People are like so damn narcissistic nowadays. You got the gaslighting, you know, and all those types of things that go on in relationships now. Very abusive, very abusive.
They're letting it all flow out as if they were a girl, and that's if their feelings, as if she values their feelings like that. So that's what I'm thinking. I look like big ass niggas, but really, it's really we all have them, but we have to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and say, "Fuck you, you don't really matter like that," and then it's in order to be attractive to her. That's one of the many sacrifices that you have to take. And then people like modern women, they say these things like what you're saying, and set them up for failure. Because if you say one thing, and then you'll say that they need to be vulnerable and you don't need to be protecting yourself. But then you'll say, oh, they're overly emotional at the same, and those two things are tied to one another.
Well, true, but there's also ways to, you can, if you want to know that you have feelings. There's lots of women that I've talked to that says, I didn't even know I didn't even know we had any feelings. I didn't even know. Because you guys act so unbothered, we never know. So you do have to see something. But we
No, that's a bunch of bullshit that women use to justify being fucking demons. Okay, they know we cared the whole time. They know we cared the whole time.
See, this is what I'm talking about. you know, the woman knows that you care the whole time. Why would she be saying that she feels like you don't care if she knows that you care? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Mm.
How?
Because we tell them.
When?
We tell.
The hell if you do? You tell them to get in line, or else you're gonna go fuck something else. That's what you tell them. That's what you've been teaching in our last few shows.
That's
I mean,
true.
you're all over it.
That's
Well,
true.
what is it? Okay, from my personal experience, I would tell this bitch, like, you know, I'm a human being, right? And then she would be like, no, no.
See that? He would tell this bitch, like, your woman doesn't want you calling her a bitch. I'm sure she doesn't want you to be thinking of her as a bitch, right? A female dog, like you think your woman's a dog. I struggle so much with this, and this is that modern day stuff. You know, people want to be able to be in a relationship with you and be abusing you emotionally, mentally, sometimes physically, financially. You know, it's like they are just like, it's like a warfare. Like, who you can do bad all by yourself. Like, if you feel like that toward a person, like, you should just be by yourself. You know, maybe you should just stay single. I mean, I'm single, you know. I know that I struggle being in relationships for that very reason, because all these damn emotions flying everywhere, you know. And I talked about this on the video with them, you know. I didn't even realize men had so many different emotions. Yeah, I mean, like, nowadays, you know, they're damn near almost as emotional as us. I wouldn't say more, but, you know, dealing with my little baggage I have, and then all of these like weird toxic emotions from a man, I mean, that's too much for me, you know. So I really feel like you have to be, if you want to be in a relationship, you really have to be completely healthy. Like, you have to be whole in your person. Like, you have to be over, you know, whatever resentful, weird attitudes you have, you know, toward the opposite sex. You know, you have to want to love somebody. You know, being in a relationship is like service, right? You guys are there to serve one another, not attack and abuse each other, you know. And then if your relationship is based on sex, I mean, and you know how people worship sex nowadays, right? And so it's just disgusting all the way around. You know, it's just very counterproductive. You know.
You're rejected. I reject it because I don't want to justify treating you like a fucking animal. You're not. You don't have feelings. Yada yada yada. But no, actually, I actually really am. You know, I'm really a human too. Like, it's kind of like the sun. You know. Yada,
Well,
yada,
act like one.
no. I didn't ever know he felt like that. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's
It's actually not a bunch of bullshit, and actually, from your story, you didn't really make it any better, you know, because it's still a very, very unbothered. I'm a human being. Of course, you're a human being. What is she doing to you? You know what I mean? How do you feel? What is going on?
You see, this is what it is. Like, what we're trying to navigate between. Yeah, that's why it's so. That's why it's a landmine we're navigating, because if we have the balance between being a human, being attractive, and not being a bitch, and not being.
I want to comment on the whole being attractive thing, right? This whole attitude, like, you know, you think you're that guy or you think you're that girl, right? Because, see, my whole thing is, if you're ugly on the inside, you're ugly on the outside. I don't care how good looking you are. If you are demonic, you know, you have demon energy, you know, eluding out of you, I really don't want you nowhere around me. You know, I can't stand that. And a lot of people nowadays be on complete demon time. I know, I live in Las Vegas.
A person that's hiding, that's covering up, and not being open. So You try to navigate that shit.
It's not a balance, no. It's just being human. Like everybody has to is expected to be something. Everybody, men are no more expected than women. And
Don't say it. Oh my God, no, that's absolutely no, it's not. We're expecting so much more,
what's up?
and then we get, huh?
Tell us.
Well, I think we so far on the topic we've kind of touched on it. How much we're expected to be this, but not too much of this and that, and not too much of that, and just a little splash of this. We gotta let them know this, and it's just like, what the
See, and these kind of things bother me too when people start talking like very vague and they're not specific. Oh, this thing, that thing, this level, oh, you're expected to do this. What? Be specific. What are you talking about? They never want to get specific. It almost feels like you don't even know what you're saying.
the fuck? And then they're asking me like for the perfect answer. I don't fucking know the perfect answer
I'm not
either.
asking for the perfect answer. But if you can realize that the things that you said about women, you want this from women and you want that from women.
It's very simple, actually. It's very simple and clear what we want from women.
I know.
We want their.
I wasn't shut up.
Yeah, that's really so easy. Well, what did you say though? I just heard you said.
Smile.
You might have No, make a fucking sandwich, all right?
Okay, so you added to it now. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's easy too,
Mm-hmm.
Smile, shut up.
Why would somebody want to make a sandwich for you with that attitude? This is, and this like in general, this is the reason I be tripping off of people and stuff like that. They want to have this nasty ass attitude towards you and want you to do something for them. Like, why would a woman? Everybody, you guys are listening to them. You guys chime in the comments, whatever. Don't be too crazy, but why would somebody want to fix you a sandwich if you have a nasty attitude toward them? If you act like you don't even like them, like why would a woman want to do anything for you? Women want to do things for men who make them feel good, who love on them, who touch on them, who are sweet to them, and vice versa, right? You're not going to want to do something for anybody that treats you bad and has a nasty attitude towards you. Even dogs know that.
Make a sandwich, and then shut up again. That's it, man. It's so fucking easy. It's so easy. But all this shit, we gotta fucking.
So when you're looking for something and
Yeah.
you can't find it, you gotta, and she know where it's at.
Yeah.
Because you want to shut the fuck up. You're going crazy looking for your
You see,
wallet.
now that's just being petty. That's just being petty and
Actually not.
childish.
You want me to shut up? Let me shut up.
But the shut up part, what that means. You know what the shut up means. It's been like, it just means like, don't talk so much. Yeah, but just don't nag. I mean, I was why are you joking? You can kind of tell, like, don't gossip with me, because I don't want to hear, I'm not your girlfriend, I don't want to hear that shit. Then I'll try, but and then don't get offended when I fucking seem annoyed. And then that's when you shut up. It's not like you don't never need to talk. Just pick up on the cues and don't be offended. But I'm not interested in this shit that you're talking about.
Why is it a problem if she knows? Maybe she don't know. Maybe you're pretending to be interested.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
You can't pretend no more, and then now you're annoyed.
Yeah, just slightly. This is a small nuance. I think that's not even a big deal. With the shut up part, it really only pertains to when there's other people around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. So that's like a shut up and look good or something.
Yeah, represent me well. And don't try to be the star of the show in public, because you're not.
Okay,
Not even that you're not, but you got where.
Do we hear this? This is his attitude toward his woman. He's talking about like his woman. Because isn't the woman supposed to, like, isn't she actually like supposed to be your star, right? She's your reflection. Like you're supposed to be like, she's supposed to be showing. You supposed to, and people are supposed to be able to look at your woman and be like, she well taken care of. She glowing. You know, she happy. I don't see how like a woman would be with him and like be like happy. Because he's like super annoyed by her and just wants her to shut up and like make him a sandwich and stuff. Like, I don't know.
You could be the star of the show. Very rarely is that the case, but if you are, we're not doing that, you know.
You mean getting attention? Other
Right? Yeah, exactly. Essentially, because if she was the star of the show, that's not a problem. But for her getting attention and seeking attention, that is a problem in the man's ego and the man's psyche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask you this: in your relationship in the past, as the man and the leader, and I know you said you was in a 14-year relationship, so
Nowhere.
now or in the past, are you going to let your woman know what you want from her up front?
Yeah, of course. I think that's really important too. Like just setting that foundation is really important.
Yeah.
When a woman is when you're first starting a relationship, she's going to be at her most cooperative, unfortunately, and her most open. So that's the time to say the shit that's not normal or status quo to her. Get that out right then, and then just be consistent in that. And then you got to be a good person and be a good man too, in order for her to be okay with that going forward, going through the relationship. You can't just be no bozo.
I'm glad you said that. What is a good man in your
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
what is a good man in your words?
You're a good man when it pertains to the relationship, just being having integrity and making her. Well, it's just about making her like being around you. Really, it's really simple. And then making her feel safe when she's with you, and making her. Because I don't know, because we're talking about when you're in the courtship stage. So, but then going forward, being a good man is being all the things that we already know what a good man is. It's a man that provides and protects, and leads and guides.
Okay, so that's like the basic of a good man. And I'm not asking these questions to like drill into you. I'm asking these questions because we use words and it doesn't break down what we really talking about. You know, so like if somebody, let's say somebody young in a relationship is starting out in a relationship, the female is going to want to know if she got a good manner, because more than likely she ain't been taught right. And there's
I keep looking at my cousin. I just want to say this real quick. You guys, I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but you would never guess how old she is. She looks really good for her age. Black don't crack.
lost no place, but he'll be back. There are men who need to know if they got a good woman or not. You know, they need to know what to look for in terms of that. We lost you for a minute, but my question was basically just like educationally. You have a 14-year-old daughter. What would you be telling her to look for in a man?
Well, if you want to Well, because what she's navigating, she needs to find a man that's an
What she should be asking him is, would your daughter want a man like you?
individual that's not finding. That's not just a. Well, that's in any time. Well, actually, no. These times everybody's being led astray. So we'll find a man that's an individual and that's not just running with the herd. What's most important is that how he treats her, not how these kids, because she's in high school, so not how he's viewed by his peers, but how he treats her. And that's the most important thing. There's really not much to it. We're talking about high school kids,
Yes.
but going forward, it changes a bit. But yeah, just having a person that treats you well and having a stand for how he treats you.
So someone.
And he has to be attracted to you too. You can't sacrifice that, obviously. But like she asked me yesterday, he has to be attractive to her, but he doesn't have to be attractive to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me last night if I thought that he was ugly, and I said, "Oh, did you know that? I didn't even share that part that she has a boyfriend."
No, I was just about to say, I did not know she had a boyfriend.
Yeah, she said, "Do you think he's ugly?" And I was like, "Why would you ask me that?" And then she was talking about how her friends were saying, like, throwing subs, and I'm like, well, if those people are saying these things about him, then they're not your friends, first of all. And it doesn't matter what.
The question is, do you think he's
as long as you're
ugly?
attracted to him, and the only thing that matters is how he's treating you. It's not about how he looks to other people. So fuck those kids, and that was it. That was the message for that.
That was great advice because most relationships are gonna get messed up from friends and family. If other
Right.
people in your ear, in your mate's ear, saying shit to them, that's gonna have you looking at your person differently. It's gonna have you feeling differently. It's gonna have you looking out for stuff that you wasn't even looking out for. You know what I mean? So you gave her some great advice because how she feels about her boyfriend and what she feels to him is what's more important.
Not superficial things like what he looks like.
So I'm glad you brought it up. Because that kind of takes me to our conversation on Saturday, or just all of our conversations about relationships. Men are always saying that women are, we move off of feelings, and you guys move off of logic, which is not true. You guys are the most
Well,
ever.
Men go off of what
But,
they see.
You guys move off of feelings too. And basically, you were pointing out that, we should just aside our feelings and because it's not about how we feel, it's about what makes sense for the relationship. So if you say that in your daughter's relationship, it's important how he makes her feel.
That's true.
yeah.
Well, that's the same for every other relationship.
That's right.
It's important how he makes her feel.
Correct.
It's important how she makes him feel. Feelings are important.
It's true.
Is that not true?
Yeah, feelings are important. They're not everything, though. They don't trump everything.
Well, they don't trump everything, but they're like
The barometer.
They're up.
Yeah.
When you're talking about being with somebody in a relationship, you're talking about
Because you don't want to be with somebody that makes you feel bad. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they are important, and yeah.
well, I guess if we take it to, I'm gonna just take it to what's in my mind right now is the conversation you and Unique had about cheating. Okay.
Oh no.
And how
Oh no.
a woman, if her man cheats, that's no reason for her to break up the family.
Hey babe, Cole brought my name up in their little convo they having.
Go on with their life. But men, on the other hand, this woman cheats, throw the whole bitch.
Right.
Well, I'm not gonna call it a double standard, even though it is. But
It is a double standard.
it is a double standard. But you're saying that feelings don't matter when either one, you're still talking about feelings. Because the woman's not breaking up her family because of cheating. She's
Hurt.
likely not even
She's
breaking up
hurt.
her family.
She's hurt.
But it's just her feelings that she can't deal. It's too hard for her to stay with.
No, she can't. She can deal with it. She definitely can deal with it.
Oh,
One of the things like you said earlier is the echo chamber. I call it the echo chamber. So when you're talking about the outside noise, they're the ones that put pressure on her. Like
That's true.
she's playing herself and she deserves better and she's setting the wrong.
We did get into it about this. Me and No Face got into it about this. You know, see the attitude. Oh, she can deal with it. I mean, to me, that just comes across as abusive. Like, you hurt her, and you're saying she can deal with it. She can deal with it. But then on the flip side, he's also saying, like, if a woman does that, right? If his woman cheats on him, he can't deal with it. It's too much. But he's supposed to be the stronger one. And she's the weaker one. But she can deal with it. It's not even just a double standard. It's just like really hypocrisy.
To not be vulnerable as the base level, on the base level, especially with a woman, just a regular random woman.
I mean, yeah, if you're just talking about a random person, but what are you talking about?
Even if you've been dating her for a year, okay? For most women, yes. Unless you wanna, yeah.
A year is a long time, so you're not. So basically, you're withholding your emotions with and for this person for a whole year or longer. That's what you advocate?
So, yeah, but forever. But you said that they're always gonna abuse it, and I'm saying like not necessarily. I mean, but yeah, but if the woman really cares about you, she won't abuse it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying too much is what I'm saying. But
Oh, did I go back?
yeah, she will abuse it, but
You want from her upfront.
anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me last night if I thought that he was ugly, and I said,
I went back.
Not true.
yeah, feelings are important. They're not everything, though. They don't trump everything.
Stay with
No,
me.
she can't. She can deal with it.
Oh,
She
here we
definitely
go.
can deal with it.
Oh,
One of the things like you said earlier is the echo chamber. I call it the echo chamber. So when you're talking about the outside noise, they're the ones that put pressure on her. Like
That's true.
she's playing herself and she deserves better and
But
she's
she
setting the
could be
wrong
thinking that
example and
herself. She
all
doesn't
that
need
bullshit
anybody
that
else to
gets,
say that. She could be thinking that inside of herself.
that gets misinterpreted as good advice or her feelings or knowing her worth and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is.
That's what.
See, her knowing her worth is bullshit. Like, I don't like. It just seems like he just wants to be able to abuse a woman. That's how it comes across to me. I don't know.
That's what it really is. If she was,
That happens. That's usually
that's what
the breakup is. If she goes back.
it is. It's about people talking about getting in the girl's head
Mm-hmm.
and manipulating her thoughts and her ideals.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Or and it's when she vents to people, basically when she's not on her shit and he's not happy with her, she goes and tells everybody how she goes and doubles down and like hedges her bet.
Now, I think we all will know that this is something that's happened in his own personal relationship, right? This is what the woman did when he did what he did, and then she did what she did. This is his own personal relationship. And you can see, why he kind of like has a lot of the feelings that he has, because doesn't seem like he's been in a good relationship. I don't know. You know, I mean, I commend people who are able to stay in long-term relationships to a certain extent, right? To be able to deal with somebody, especially I don't even know if this is a good thing, right? To stay in a toxic relationship for like years on end. But, you know, I understand, like, you know, there are some people they can't really go without being with somebody. You know, they have to have somebody, whether it's toxic or unhealthy or not, you know. And they'll just stay there. Um, I'm not that person. You know, I'm not that person. Yeah, because I will not be abused um, in any way, shape, or form. I'd rather just be by myself. You know, but yeah, it just seems like a lot of times I do notice that, like in relationships, a lot of relationships in this modern day, they are very toxic. You know, and a lot of them end very tragically. You know, and that's why I'm very careful, especially now. You know, I just have kind of like just closed up shop, you know, and just really working on my own personal development. If God wants to send me a man, you know, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's fine too, you know, because um you know, it's very important for me to have a healthy life inside and out. So yeah.
She starts talking crazy about him, and then when she gets back with him, she's looking crazy.
That is true. I agree with you. But the fact that she goes back to him after all of that shit means she cancels all the noise. And she
No, it means that she was lying. That means she was lying the whole time. Well, no, but when it pertains to when she was talking crazy about him.
About him.
But yeah, the echo chamber, when they're telling her that she needs to know her worth and all that stuff, that's part of the problem.
that is true. And the other side happens as well. But that is true. It's always somebody on the outside getting in your fucking ear, telling you what you should do. But eventually, she ignores all that shit, and she goes back to him, and she's trying to. But she realizes, sometimes she realizes that she can't.
Correct.
Because now it's built.
It's too much.
So that's more than likely when the shit is over.
Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really I mean, really people
If
need
you
to
can't
stop.
treat each
Like,
other
with
correct,
my,
you gotta leave each other alone. That's just
with my
period.
girl, I don't want nobody talking to her at all.
It always happens. Though. I mean, and I'm gonna ask you this: you got a mom, you got a sister.
Right.
A lot of times, the mom and the sister is your biggest enemy in a relationship.
Right.
They ever interfere with your relationship?
Well, they would just say things like, "You could do so much. I just think you could do so much better." That shit like that. So not really, but they would just be like judging me like, oh.
That's actually really. That's really a yes.
No, but that's not good advice. It's like I could do better. Like okay, I know. Well, I could. Can I do better though? Is there better? What can I do better? Like what you? But they don't see. They don't see it until they're in the man's shoes. They're really able to like be in the man's shoes and see it from the man's perspective when they're dealing with a man that they actually care about, which is very rare.
But
they don't have that.
That your mom and your sister's advice was the right advice or the problem.
But it really doesn't matter because I don't listen to women. I don't take advice from women.
Mm-hmm.
But
probably do. They're not just saying it because you don't listen. You probably take it into consideration.
I consider that. Well, maybe yeah, because it's more.
It's not honest.
When I say I don't listen to women,
it's not
just
honest
because it's for a reason, you know, because they don't give good advice.
Well,
because they don't understand. They don't understand what I'm.
If you don't think women give good advice, then you shouldn't have a woman, right? This is just my understanding from healthy relationships that I've seen, mostly from married couples. Like, for instance, I listened to a guy named Brother Tony. He's been married for, I think, 17 years. And he always talks about his wife, how he treats his wife. And he always asks his wife for advice. You know, babe, I'm thinking about taking this business venture to do this or whatever. What do you think about that? If you don't care what your woman thinks, like, what? Because from what I understand, like, your woman is actually like supposed to be like your best friend, right? You don't care what your best friend thinks. I don't know. He just seems like a very like toxic person to me. I don't know. I'm just being honest, and I don't have anything against No Face. I don't know him. You know, I'm sure he's a lot younger than me. You know, but he just doesn't seem like a good guy. I know he probably means well, but like a lot of the things that he says just comes across to me as like abusive. Not physically, but like emotionally and mentally for sure.
Navigating, and they're not really qualified to speak on what I'm navigating.
But they're actually saying what you're probably already thinking. So you're listening
No,
to like the secret.
no, they're saying exactly what they will say to a woman in the same situation. They're telling me the same thing that her parents and her family is telling her.
Mm-hmm. No,
You know, but it's like not about. It's not about. Well, I don't know. It's true. Somebody's right, and in this sense, it is right. But like, the man always can do. I mean, the man can always do better. I guess both can always do better.
right.
I don't know.
Women
It's
advice. You know what I mean? Whether they can do better or not, you have to ignore the advice. If you're the only one in the relationship, right? So you know if you can do better or not, you know if you want this or not, you know if you leave this. So my whole point
yeah.
was the outside advice is never helpful to the relationship. How many people are giving you advice that's going to encourage you guys to stay together and work it out? How many people
Right.
are that advice?
Nobody.
Nope.
Absolutely nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely nobody. That's so fucking crazy. Nobody
And
gives
it's
advice
crazy.
that's going to help you work shit out, but there's an argument. They go play devil's advocate and help you get it done.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what though, I do. I always do. And I'm very conscious about that.
That's good.
Because
I know you do. You gave me an example the other day.
right, I'm always trying to figure out, especially when I'm talking to women, because you're gonna tell them some shit that they never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they wanna and then you would I don't know. I wouldn't say that they like it, but
They probably didn't.
I'm not gonna give you no status quo. Or you deserve better, queen. Fucking ego boosting type speech.
What do you know?
But yeah, but that's so true, and like that's so true what you said, and it's like it's really profound because everybody always consistently says never. Nobody, I should say. Everybody always consistently never gives tangible advice that can actually facilitate a more healthier relationship with that person.
Yeah. Nobody. I realize.
I'm gonna chime in on that. Well, that may be true to some extent, but a lot of times people can understand and know, like, you guys being with each other is not good. Like, the relationship is toxic, you know, and you know, and I'm even against, like, I remember, and I think I told No Face and Nicole this our last conversation. There was this young couple living next door to me, and they were like super young. They were like 20, 21 years old. And they would be in there just fighting each other, beating each other up, yelling at each other, screaming at each other. And they should have left each other alone, you know. And it had got so bad one time, you know, I ended up calling the police because I thought he was going to kill her. And then the moms showed up, you know, and they were here at my door, and they were so upset, you know, and they wanted to tell me oh, when you were young, you went through this and this and this and that. You know, there should be no abuse in any relationship, period. Like, nobody should be putting up with that, period. You know, so there are some relationships where you guys need to leave each other alone because it's not even love, right? A lot of times people have an obsession with each other or some sort of infatuation or some sort of bloodthirsty lust for each other. And see, a lot of times people don't talk like me. But I like to tell the truth. It don't even be love, it just be infatuation. You didn't have your damn mind blown. And that to me, that's demonic. You start getting into those demonic realms. I don't agree with it. Yeah, okay, if you guys are having a disagreement, right? If there's some misunderstanding somewhere, things of that nature, right? You can work through that. You know, but when you guys are being abusive and toxic toward each other and all that kind of weird stuff, you need to leave each other alone.
I realized that in my own relationship.
Yeah.
When it was over and years later, and I look back and I thought about what mom said, what aunt said, what neighbor said, every single person, nobody gave.
Everybody said throw that bum ass nigga away. He ain't worth nothing.
It ain't gonna work out. He gonna leave everything. If not one person gave helpful advice, not one.
Right.
And these are
And
people
why is
that love me.
that?
Most of these people love me.
Right.
Well, it's a big protection thing. Everybody just wants to protect you from pain while they're causing the pain by their so-called protection. It's not protection. They want.
Yeah, I think that with a question like that, I think it's a very sophisticated layered question. It's something one would have to like reflect on and kind of. So it's not. I don't expect you to be able to do this.
They don't know no better.
Yeah. They don't value the relationship. They don't value the man. They don't value
your man. They
don't value any man.
But not that could be true, but not all. There might be a married woman who gives the relationship by thinking that she got the only good man that there is. So she sees your man, and now she's whispering about all the shit you got to work out for in your relationship.
Yeah, a lot of times when a woman really is in a healthy marriage, she understands the sacrifices that she has to take. She understands the image that she portrays versus what's real, and when there's a whole community of married people don't talk to people that don't have people that unwedded in their social circle.
That's not true.
Everybody else learning,
right?
Married
it's not true.
Together, gotta teach somebody. But even sometimes, like I said, those people even it all depends. Because so many people get it wrong. Anyway,
yeah.
And we don't know what really the right thing to say. But like with me, in any relationship, if it's my daughter and her boyfriend or my niece and her husband, whoever, I'm not gonna promote or give no advice that's about splitting up, breaking up, leaving, playing.
Because what that does too is
I just keep it all to real feelings, and just straight real emotions. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna let you see it from the other person's point of view, because especially when we're in a relationship and when we're angry, we only thinking about we're only thinking about what we're mad at and what is bothering us, and we never look at it from the other person's side. And you have to do that.
I want to say something about that. See, I never played a devil's advocate because I don't like that bitch. I don't like the devil. I don't like his nature. I don't like what he stands for or nothing. I'll never play his advocate. Ever. Because, see, when you play the devil's advocate, you're putting yourself in danger. I feel like you're advocating for Satan, the one who wants to kill, steal, and destroy. It's not good.
Yeah, for sure. And then a lot of times it'll alienate you from from the person from your family member in this case, because you told them.
Alienated. I mean, if you look at it, every relationship goes through all of these ups and downs. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like I said, nobody gets it right. So if it alienates you, you just might have to take that alienation because it. You gotta make your own decisions and live your own life and make your own choices. And when you get into a relationship with somebody, that's going to be one of the sacrifices. It might be, your family. You can't fuck with them like that if they don't accept what you are standing with right now. If you decide to make that decision.
Yeah. But what I meant,
It's true.
alienation
It's
is
true.
probably a stronger word. But when you guys are when there's a bash fest about the man, and then she goes back to him, she's a little bit bashful about it, and then she doesn't want to talk to the same person, just like say the mom,
Where
for
we
instance,
at?
about that.
We had an
And the mom
hour.
might say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it anymore because you're just going to go right, Instead of just seeing it for what it's worth, being a little bit more realistic about it and facilitating a healthy relationship where she can still come and vent to you. And you don't hold her to no standards and you just give your advice. But if you're giving good advice, you wouldn't put her in a position where she feels like she has to break up with him or she looks stupid. But that's what happens a lot of times.
Yeah. And I think you made this point a few minutes ago. You had said that back in the day they kept the relationship stuff in the house. The issues and stuff was in the house. So once if everybody out there ain't knowing about it, it is easier to keep things together. Because you're right, it's the embarrassment, it's the talk that gets things, get you feeling some sort of way where you gotta make a move. You don't want to be looking stupid because you know this man has been cheating on you or whatever is going on. So you're right.
Yeah. In the house too. This might sound crazy to some people, but it was with the marriage was a 6-person marriage essentially. It was the two married people, and then they're both of their parents.
And what?
And both of their parents. Yes. So if there was issues, it would be facilitated within the elders, and there was a lot more logic, and it was coming from people.
I want to say this about that because I am a Bible believing person. You watch my channel, hear me talk any length of time, we know that. I understand that no face is not. I don't think my cousin Nicole, she's not really that big a Bible advocate. She does have a lot of common sense though. But the Bible talks about when a man leaves his parents and he cleaves to his wife, right? And it's you and your wife and things like that. But the Bible also talks about how there is safety in a multitude of counselors, right? Because I even know, like in the modern day, people really talk a lot about therapy and things like that, going to couples or marriage counseling or couples counseling and things like that. I really feel like there is a level of safety in that, just somebody from the outside looking in, being able to give you some sound wisdom. I think there is safety in that. I think sometimes that's why you have to be so careful, because when you get into that whole alienation thing, I really feel like that's not a good thing. When you're in a relationship and you're being alienated from your family and your friends, just trying to have that relationship, I don't think that's good. I think that's unhealthy. And sometimes, like I always say, it can be dangerous, right? Because why does the person have to have you so alienated? Why do they have to have you all to themselves? That's a level of abuse to me. You're trying to control that person. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in you controlling another person. You're supposed to control yourself. You know, God gives us power to control ourselves. It's not our job to control another person.
People that actually navigate it, facilitate marriage in a healthy way and in a prosperous, long lasting way.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I know. Shit sounds crazy, doesn't it? But that was not that many generations ago when that's how it really was with our ancestors.
And that's how it should still be, and that's how it could still be. But our ancestors lied. You know, our moms and grandmoms lie and say that they didn't put up with this, didn't put up with that, and yes, they did. They actually did.
Yeah, well, I'm more so talking about like pre-colonialism, you know.
What do you mean?
Before our ancestors were slaves, when they were in their natural form.
Here we go about this ancestor stuff. Before we were slaves, that was like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. There's no way that you know what your ancestors were doing 500 years ago. I mean, that just seems fake to me. See, I've been harping on this probably like the last week for sure about fake people. And it's starting to just make me like physically ill. I'm starting to really see how fake people are. They will smile in your face and hee and kiki and turn around and they will stab you in your back with a big butcher knife. You know. I really feel like a lot of times people be being so super fake. You know. I don't appreciate it.
That's how they were navigating before monogamy was a thing, before the Eurocentric standards were bestowed upon us by force.
I'm not going back that far. I ain't even talking about that because I'm not going.
Well, it's important that you do. It's important that you.
No, it's not.
We're
No, it's
going
not.
back.
No, it's not.
But it's important. But we should though.
No, we
Why
shouldn't.
wouldn't we?
No, we shouldn't.
Yeah, we should know who we are and what we're supposed to, what we were based.
You're supposed to
in.
know who you are right now.
We should definitely know who we are.
Yeah, because these are standards that were bestowed upon us by our oppressors, because they knew it wouldn't work. It's important that at least if.
See? Because it's the victim mentality. You know. Oh, you're being oppressed. And to me, he seems like in his relationships, he's very oppressive. You know, to whoever his person is. Right? Just realistically, to want to go back 500 years and say, you don't know what those people were doing back then. And to say we're supposed to be like our ancestors were 500 years ago, that to me is so fake. I mean, that is like the fakest you can get to me. I'm sorry. I'm just being completely honest. I know I'll be persecuted and hung on the cross. But to me, that's just super fake. There's no way anybody on the face of this planet is living like their ancestors did 500 years ago. Stop it. Stop it.
At least for your life, it's important that you understand these things. You're one of the rare type of women that actually could even process such ideas. But then you have to open your mind first, though. No, well, I'm not. I'm being honest.
I'm gonna stop right there because I know the video is over an hour long. I'm gonna finish watching it. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in on that. You know, I totally disagree, with No Faces, his whole stance and his whole philosophy, you know, about relationships and things like that. You know, total respect for him. Everybody can live their life how they want to. But I totally disagree with probably like at the least 80% of, some of the things and some of his understanding of things. There's just no wisdom in it. You know, that he's talking about things like he really like 500 years ago. You want in the modern day people to adopt philosophies and lifestyles of people who lived 500 years ago? I'm done. Good night.